all the titles, and what you can expect on this thing will of course be on screen. I did already record the footage of all of the games for you. However, do keep in mind there's thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of games preloaded on this thing. You do not have to do anything. It comes to you this way. So do keep that in mind. You do not have to install any of the games. They are all there. Games. We got PSP, PS1, arcade. We got all of them. All of them, bro. We got all of them. All the games. Dreamcast runs great on it. PSP runs great on it. Everything on this thing runs great. We went to a family reunion when I want to say I was probably like 8 or 9 years old, right? And there was, we had this big tent full of stuff. Like everybody brought a bunch of stuff, and it was all under this tent. And one person had brought a Nintendo, the original Nintendo, and dude, we had like 100 games in this box alongside with Nintendo. Oh my goodness. I literally bought like every ticket. I put my name, so you had to buy tickets, and then eventually like we did like this like thing where whoever, I forget how, I was so young, dude. I remember buying, but anyways, after that, like there was somebody there that won all the money that bought all the tickets. I forget how it exactly, but I ended up winning that thing, dude. Oh my goodness. What a dream. Hundreds of games, dude. Hundreds of games. I remember, and then as time went on, I eventually like had a yard sale out front of my house, and I sold a bunch of the games, and I made a bunch of money, and it was pretty cool. Real quick, just wanted to say that if you would like a PC from me, my Facebook business page is linked down in the description below. I do not charge you anything other than the cost of parts, which I do in fact give you a full list of everything with the final cost before I order it all with my own money. You do not pay me anything until you see the video, the performance, the benchmarks, and all of that kind of stuff. So again, link down in the description below. Back to the Super Nintendo. So I remember Yoshi's Island was a really cool one. Me and my buddy Josh. So I was allowed to go up because we were really good friends, and he literally was my brother growing up. We would go upstairs. Like I was allowed upstairs. Like none of the other kids were allowed upstairs. And we would play video game. We played the Super Nintendo. He had a Sega Dreamcast, which I didn't really like the Sega Dreamcast. I was a Super Nintendo person. I really liked the Super Nintendo. And a game that we really liked playing together was Yoshi's Island, Super Mario Bros. As well, obviously. And I want you to keep this in mind. This does not, you can of course add those games to this. You can add any game that you want to this, but for reasons that I doubt I need to explain, it does not have Mario games on this. I'm sure you're fully aware of why it does not include those. All right. This is a company that is it's a company, man. It's a business, and they're a very well trusted and supported business that has supported me as a creator for a very long time. Okay. So I do want to make that clear. I forgot to mention that. So they're not paying me anything, but they did send this to me in order to make the video on this to review. So I don't charge them anything for this because they've supported me for a long time, and they've sent me a lot of these consoles. So I don't think I'll ever do that. I make more than enough at this point. But anyways, so I got off topic there and now I forgot. Oh, going upstairs. So Yoshi's Island was a good one that we used to play together. Super Mario World was another good one. The Mario Bros on the original Nintendo, which let's be honest, we all like bumped the roof and ran the first, was it the first level or I think it was the second level, right? Where you could like, there was that area where you could bump the roof and you just literally run across the top, and then you get to the end where there's like 3 tubes that you can go down, and you can literally get like 50% through the entire game within that like little run. But anyway, so we played those. Battletoads was really cool as well. That was pretty hard though. Like when I was younger, that was a hard one. A couple under the radar games that are popping into my mind right now is Congo's Caper. Basically, this was like a new Joe and Mac, pretty much is what it was. It was like Joe and Mac 2, and then they like the developers created Congo's Caper. So it's like this caveman beat 'em up platformer, and if you get like 3 of these rubies, you level up to this like super Congo where you can like jump super high, and it's just like, it makes the game a lot more fun when you become super Congo. It's kind of like Super Mario when you get the cape. It's just more fun when you have the cape. So that was a good under the radar one. And then there was one Power Rangers game that was really good. It was it wasn't like the fighter game. It was like a side-scrolling beat 'em up. That was pretty cool. I really liked that. And I remember that like when back in my day, quote unquote, back in my day, we used to have like we used to have stores and movies where we could like go rent the video games. And I remember like as my mom would go find her movie, me and Joe, he really was my brother, man. Like I didn't really have many friends growing up. I didn't really have like a whole lot of friends. So like, you know, yeah, dude. So we would go to the movie theater, and it was just funny because like the back part of the video game section had like all the mature games, like some like Mortal Kombat and all the bad games. But yeah, dude. So anyways, and we would like, my mom would go off and find her movies, and we would go back there and look at the box art and like talk about how cool it was. And like he was allowed to get the rated M because he was older than I was. He was like 4 grades ahead of me. So like when I was in kindergarten, he was like in 3rd or 4th grade. So he was allowed to play those games. So anyways, yeah, dude. So those are in my, so let's talk about my dad now. Like, so my dad also was into games. So he would play, he really liked Super Castlevania 4 or no, Super Castlevania. That's not 4, is it? Is it Castlevania 4? Either way, it's Super Castlevania. It's not Castlevania Dracula X, or it's not Castlevania on the original Nintendo. It's just Super Castlevania for the Super Nintendo. That was a pretty cool game. It was really hard for me, so I didn't like it. Donkey Kong games were always really fun. Yeah, dude, Donkey Kong was actually really. They had the Wii U version is actually really cool. The Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze is probably my favorite Donkey Kong game. So there was those, and me and my mom would play Super Mario together all the time. And oh my goodness, actually, I got to be real with you guys on this one. So I was one of those like kids that like threw the controllers like when I got really mad and couldn't beat a level or couldn't beat a loss or kept like dying and having to start over. Bro, I tell you what, man, that Super Nintendo controller was rugged. I tell you, man, like I put holes in the wall and I had to go sit in timeout for hours. Yo, it's true. That's a rugged controller. But anyways, so yeah, I really wasn't like an RPG person. I didn't really like RPGs. I still don't. I don't really like RPGs. I can't, my attention span isn't like, and this is one of the reasons that I don't really care for newer games as well, honestly, is because like, dude, I don't want to have to sit down and play a game for 5 hours in order to get something that I actually want inside of that game. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, guys, highly recommend this thing. The links to everything will be down in the description below. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.